Good evening, sports fans. It's the Fox I'm Back review show. I've been on holiday. G'day. Anyone guess where I've been?
Scarborough.
Good shout. Well, you came with me, so I mean, he was in the 8th berth behind me. And actually, just before we get started here, for all those eagle-eyed people out there, there's been a photo released of the Stig, aka Roberto. So if anyone can find that, you win a mug. So let's talk previews. Let's get on with this. Costa Rica, England. Where are we? So, friendly game. What do we expect? Not much really. Costa Rica are nothing flash, but then we didn't really think that about Nigeria. We had a poor second half, and realistically, they could have equalised. We kind of took our foot off the gas. I know it's a friendly people, I know that, but you're looking at players there wanting to fight to get into the starting 11 for me. So, okay, Costa Rica. Never really done anything at a tournament. Last World Cup was probably the most successful tournament. I remember back in 1990, the manager who they've got now is Ramirez. And he was one of their heroes in Italian 90, which was my first World Cup. I don't know if it was anybody else's first World Cup, Rob. My first World Cup, loved it anyway. So they got out of the they got in the qualifying stages, and I don't remember who they got beat by, but that was their most successful campaign up until the last World Cup in Brazil. They ended up getting beat by the Netherlands, if you all remember, on penalties. But up until that point, I don't think they conceded a goal. So the team's changed slightly since then. They've changed managers since then. They had Paulo Wanchope in charge for a little bit in between the last World Cup and now. He only lasted 8 matches. So as I said, they've got Ramirez in charge, who was an Italian anti-hero. They are a team with not much threat. So realistically, I'm thinking, and I don't like to make me scorelines, my predictions before the end of this review, but I think preview. But I think it'll be 3-0 England. So the threats are really people that we've heard of. Brian Ruiz, ex-Fulham player, we all remember him, scored some great goals in Europe. Juventus at home when Fulham were 4-1 down, I remember him scoring an absolute perler of a lob, one of my favourite goals of all time. YouTube that, people. Really good goal. Ruiz. Duarte, who's a centre-back, who's quite an influential player for them. He's a bit of a link man between defence and attack. Although he's a centre-back, he likes to carry the ball. Bolanos is another creative player in their team. They've also got Joel Campbell, who's an ex-Arsenal player. I don't know if he's still there now. I know he's on loan at Real Betis. Player who sort of hit and miss. And actually in the last World Cup, he's one of their star men. I think he scored a cracker there as well in the last World Cup, off the bar. Pretty certain of that. But he's one of these players as well that Arsene Wenger found out that he looked great in the World Cup, but then actually you can't really get more than 2 games consistently out of him. So he might be a player, he might start. They're normally going to play 5-4-1 as well. I don't know whether they'll come out with a shell against England when it being a friendly. They sometimes revert to a 3-4-3, but genuinely they're going to be the only team in the tournament playing 5-4-1. Another real key player who we all know a lot about is Keylor Navas, goalkeeper, brilliant keeper for Real Madrid, been linked with a lot of Premiership clubs. Obviously, he's just won his 2nd Champions League medal there. Really, apart from that, there's no one really special. Oviedo used to play for Sunderland, managed to get Sunderland into League One. I don't know whether he's just left. And a guy called Urena as well, who's a striker, who plays in America now, scored 3 goals in qualifying. Marco Urena, I think he is, 28-year-old. But yeah, he scored 3 goals, I think it was against Uruguay maybe. And it wasn't in the qualifiers anyway, I think that was in their last World Cup. But so they haven't really been they haven't really done much, they haven't progressed much. They're a team that realistically, if they qualify, if they get out of the group stages, then that's a successful tournament for them. They've got Brazil, Iran, and I think Mexico, Switzerland in their group. So realistically, you'd be thinking Brazil, Switzerland, top 1 and 2. But like I say, if they get out of that group, that's classed as an achievement. So England probably going to start with the 11 that I would think was going to start against the opening game for us, which is Belgium, isn't it? So I think pretty much England team. I hope he doesn't revert to a 4-4-2, but I can see it being Cahill, Stones, Walker-Rose, Dyer, Henderson, Ali, Sterling, Rashford, Kane. Although I'd like to see us start 3-5-2. I wouldn't play Cahill or Stones. I'd play Harry Maguire straight down the middle, but I know that's probably controversial. My own choice. think he's improved a hell of a lot in the last 2 years. Harry Maguire was an England fan in the last World Cup, as he says, 2 years ago, watching him board the plane. Now he's a full England international. Talented player, likes to keep hold of the ball. I think that's kind of the thread we want, possession. As we saw in the first half against Nigeria, lots of passing, lots of movement. Second half, when they went man for man with us and kind of matched us up, we were poor. But I don't know whether that was just people taking the foot off the gas, being 2-0 up. Friendly scenario, we all know what that is, and people not wanting to get injured. But I would like to see he's going to start his main 11 on Thursday. So again, there's nothing to worry about with teams like this. I know we're matching these up for a kind of Panama situation. But again, Panama shouldn't be a team to worry about. Although we thought that about Iceland, and look what happened. But what I'm reading and what we're reading outside from the England camp, people like Kyle Walker have come out and said there's a togetherness he hasn't seen, in a World Cup squad that he's been involved in, and he's also, everybody's buying into all the ideas that Southgate's wanting to put across, and I'm all up for that. I rate Southgate. I rated him as a Boro manager, and I might be in the minority when I say this, but the guy never really got a shout at the club. He did nothing wrong and got sacked. He got everything stripped away, wages, players, and got sacked. But I'm digressing. So this is a game we shouldn't fear. Like I say, is the old England kind of worry's going to kick in when we kick into a tournament where everybody gets nervous and stressed and we can't even put two passes together against an average team like Panama, i.e. Costa Rica? I hope not. So like I say, this game tomorrow night, tonight should I say, this game's going to be 3-0 for me, 2-0. I can't see them scoring. They haven't really got any threats. So, we haven't got anything to worry about, but it's our last friendly. And the one thing that we definitely don't want, and this is the only other reason why I'm kind of caught down the middle between wanting to play a full 11. I'd like maybe to start with the 11 that we're going to start with against Belgium. But again, it's injuries. And these are the games where you get daft injuries, people diving in, people making stupid tackles. So we're kind of caught in the middle of that. Like I say, nothing at all to fear from a team like this. They are notoriously bad competition team. But then I suppose England are in a way. We've only really ever had two successful tournaments that I can remember in my lifetime, 1990 and 1996. So unless we come out with a really banging England song, because in both of those tournaments we had a banging England song, and it seems like that propels us, doesn't it? But who knows? So unless we come out with a really good track, I've heard a rumour that AJT's recording something with Chaz and Dave, so you never know. There might be a banging tune out. Hopefully. So I'm going 3-0. Rob, what do you think prediction-wise?
2-0 England.
Rob's good, he gets his predictions right quite a lot. And there's also somebody else in the room. I'm just going to go and have a quick... Everybody knows this guy. AJT's here. What are you thinking?
We'll go for a 4-1.
Ooh, sexy. You think they'll score?
Yeah.
Pickford mistake? Or do you think he'll start with will Butland start?
No,
Pope?
It'll be 3-0 half time for England, and then they'll get one, we'll score at 4-1.
Okay, I like that. So listen, guys, we're going to be doing a lot of previews and reviews, really. Tune in on Friday, because we're going to do a little World Cup draw between all the guys, and we're going to all have a team each, and that'll be quite good crack. So get yourselves tuned in for that and see how we all draw. But we're going to be doing that right across the World Cup, guys, so please tune in. But for now, I'm Foxy, back again. That's Rob. Thank you for tuning in. And peace out, Boro fans, to all the Boro fans that are watching. Although this is for sports fans in general, you know you are best fans in the world. Peace out.